Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube family? This is Samuel Legger here representing Team JVS. I am back here again for another movie review. The name of this movie is called Outside the Wire. This is starring Anthony Mackie. Now, I'm just going to do something really quick. Anthony Mackie, this year, he was in a movie that I really enjoyed. I loved his performance in it, Synchronic. He did an amazing job in it. I also did appreciate the dedication and the physicality he took towards his role with Altered Carbon, like especially coming off of Kinnerman before. He was in The Banker, that was part of the Apple TV Plus. So he's been putting in a lot of work. On top of everything he's doing, of course, with the MCU, he's going to be, come March 19th, going to be starring, reprising his role as Falcon in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming up. But this film kind of surrounds him in a very different role. You don't really know if he is in a trainer kind of situation or if he is just a maniacal psychopath. We really don't know what his character's agenda is. And a part of that is because he's not exactly completely human. Like, he is more cyborg than anything. Matter of fact, the more you realize more about him, the more you're like, oh, okay. And to be honest with you, what movie kept on coming to mind every time I was watching this was Training Day. Like, from the first two acts, I was like, this is Training Day. Like, I know where this is going. And I think that I enjoyed that because one of the things that did work was Anthony Mackie. Like, his physicality, his stunt work, like his scenes that he had, like, in just using him. And not just that, even some of the social interactions he had where he was like trying to be the peaceful soldier, where he was kind of using like his intellect to kind of cross-examine certain situations and then uses physicality. Like, him in total really carries the big bulk of this film. Now, the story, the synopsis reads, in a near future, a drone pilot sent into a war zone finds himself paired with a top secret android officer on the mission to stop a nuclear attack. Now, this specific drone pilot, he's a lieutenant, and when you first see him and you meet him, it's kind of like he doesn't have a strip of humanity on him either. Like, I was like, there's nothing about him that is a redeemable character. It's not even so much like he was very callous in his thought process. There's an event that happens very early on in the movie, and you're like, bro, you have that little care of human life? Like, I understand being desensitized and doing precision and doing this, but it's just like his regard for human. I was really thrown off by that. I was like, hopefully there's gonna be a payoff to that. Now, this was acted by Damson Idris. Now, he plays the role of the Lieutenant Harp. Harp, by the end of it, he really does have a Training Day situation. It is a mixture of a modern day futuristic version of Training Day. But the biggest thing about it is I don't like the payoff that they gave, because it came off really unrealistic, and to me, I think it could have been done better if you did more focus in on who Lieutenant Harp was, where he comes from. Not just giving a whole bunch of exposition, not just giving me pictures, or not just kind of expressing stuff, but really going and ingraining why he is meant to be even in this film. Because honestly, outside of, you know, the social interactions and the good chemistry that, you know, Anthony Mackie can ping off of anybody. Anybody in this film, like, he pings off of really well. There's a moment where Palu Asbeek plays the role of Victor. If you've seen, like, Game of Thrones, he's known for that role. And, like, he has a short, you know, interaction with Anthony Mackie's character, Leo. And it's great chemistry. Like, I mean, it's really more so. The reason why any of this works is because if you take Anthony Mackie out of this, it just wouldn't be a movie. And unfortunately, it's not enough payoff for me to be invested. I wasn't invested in Lieutenant Harp because he didn't have enough surface for me to go and like, oh, okay, I really want to know more about this. I don't know, we didn't do anything with him. As far as the way this was shot, cinematography, it wasn't anything that I haven't seen before. As far as the fight choreography and the scenes that they gave Anthony Mackie to do, those are amazing. I love all those scenes, and it's not too over the top CG. It's actually very practical. I really appreciated that. Soundtrack was kind of non-existent. I think that there are certain actors that kind of felt like they were in a completely different movie. There was one actress that I was like, man, she's doing some really good acting right now. But I was like, for what? I don't know why, you know, you're going down that road. But there also, who else was in this one? Michael Kelly, I'm sorry. He played the role of Harp. His role was okay. It just kind of, I didn't understand his role. It's kind of like the plus and the minus of Anthony Mackie being the base of this is that he's technically not the main character, and at times he's the protagonist and the antagonist in certain situations. And that's the same thing for Michael Kelly's character, where you're kind of like, oh, I can't believe he did this callous thing, but then later on you're expected to just trust his moral judgment, and you don't. There's no investment here, unfortunately. And I was hoping for a lot more, to be quite honest with you. And unfortunately, I would rest this at maybe a 4.5, 5 out of 10. I think that if you don't have anything going on and you want to see a decent, you know, date action film, it's, I mean, worth your time. If nothing but for Anthony Mackie and just basically, to me, proving that he very much so can and should be the new Capt. Even though in certain interviews recently he's like, I'm not the new Capt. Who knows? Who knows where it's going? But hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Make sure you leave me a comment in the comment section below what you thought about this film. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell button. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Have a blessed one, guys. Peace.